Hello, good evening everyone. I am Uyi Emmanuel. I am a Nigerian lawyer. Okay, last week I do remember I made a promise to release my video analysis on the development of crude oil and gas in Senegal. However, I was not able to fulfill that promise, reason being that I had some technical glitches with the video that I wanted to release, so I was not able to fulfill my promise. However, today I'm going to do a remake of the said video analysis and for those of you who have been following my articles that I've been releasing online, you would have noticed that since the beginning of the year, I've been speaking so much about the development of crude oil and gas in Senegal. So today we're going to go further into the conversation. But before we begin, I think it is pertinent that we first of all congratulate the good people of Senegal for the commencement of crude oil and gas production in Senegal, and also congratulate the former president of Senegal, Monsieur Macky Sall, because it was during his administration that the exploration of crude oil and gas commenced. And we also need to congratulate the new president of Senegal, Monsieur Diomaye Bassirou Faye, for continuing from where his predecessor stopped. And today, Senegal is an oil and gas producing country. I think it is pertinent for me to shed more light on this conversation. Somewhere around middle of last year, Senegal began its first production of crude oil at the Songoma oil field in a joint venture between Petrosen of Senegal, that's the national oil company of Senegal, and Woodside Energy, an IOC from Australia. And also, towards the ending of last year, Senegal again, in a joint venture with the government of Mauritania, British Petroleum and Cobalt Energy, began the production of gas at Project GTR. That project is set to produce about 2.8 million tons of gas per year. Thus, these are brilliant projects. That particular project is a deep offshore field, and as I said before, it is very, very important for the Senegalese economy. It is very, very important to boost the GDP of Senegal. However, I'm not going to speak so much about the importance of these projects because I believe I've already overflowed those issues in the past. So I'm going to speak on another aspect of this project. For some couple of days now, not days, for a couple of months, or for a couple of weeks now, a lot of people have been talking. Even the president of Senegal has made his comments about the nature of contracts that were signed with the IOCs. Take, for instance, the Songoma oil field between Petrosen and Woodside Energy. Petrosen of Senegal is going to hold 18% of the joint venture, while Woodside Energy, the Australian IOC, would hold 82% of the joint venture. So looking at it, you can tell that the joint venture is not balanced in favor of probably the Senegalese people. So if you ask me what's my opinion on this, so at this point I would rally back to the Nigerian situation or Nigerian conversation. I know some of you say Nigeria might not be the best example of an oil and gas producing country, in the sense that its citizens have not benefited from the humongous amount of resources we have in the country. However, whether you like it or not, we are an experienced oil and gas producing country. We've experienced various phases of oil and gas production in Nigeria, so we have some level of experience that we can share to other countries that just began production of hydrocarbon in their country. So let's go back to Nigeria. Let's look at Nigeria's history as it relates to joint ventures with IOCs. Let's go as far back as the 60s, 70s. When we began oil and gas production, the contracts we had with the IOCs were not necessarily in our best interest, or did not really favor us as much as it should. But with experience with legislations, with regulations. When I mean legislations, I mean like laws, regulations, guidelines, executive orders. We've been able to get ourselves better understanding, better seats at the table as it relates to oil and gas contracts. We're able to benefit more from oil and gas production in our country. Let's take, for instance, the NOGICD Act, or what some people colloquially call the Oil and Gas Local Content Law. For those of you who are abreast with that law, it states that for every position you want to, or every employment you want to make in the oil and gas industry, you must employ Nigerian citizens. And when you cannot find Nigerian citizens, or you don't find Nigerian citizens who have the requisite skills or expertise to perform the said function, then you cannot employ expatriates. And even when you employ those expatriates, they must show that you have a plan to train Nigerian citizens who are not qualified in that said role, so that they can have the expertise to function